Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and Thanos is followed up by one of the most hype characters in Marvel Future Fight history, Infinity Thanos. He's been an amazing boss for the past 3 weeks, and now he's finally going to be playable in the game, presumably as a new uniform for the existing Ultron. But I cannot be more excited. What if the Avengers were unable to defeat the ultimate AI? Infinity Ultron, inspired by Marvel Studios' What If, extends his reach into the 7.8.5 update. So less than a month after he gets dropped as a world boss legend, we are finally going to get our hands on this absolute behemoth of a character, and I'm super duper excited. Very cool stuff. Really thank the devs for working so hard to get this in our hands that quickly, because it's fast, way faster than Null, and actually faster than Mephisto. So let's take a look at the sneak peek itself. We do briefly see the idle character animation for Ultron before it cuts to the sort of boss intro animation. Yeah, there it is. And then he, boom, smashes through the screen. And so it's a little bit, it's a little bit of a low res. It's not the glass crack is a little low res, and the overall sneak peek is a little basic. However, I do have to give props to the sneak peek team because they are thinking out of the box with this one. Ultron literally breaks the fourth wall, right? He breaks through the barrier and he basically starts destroying the multiverse. He's aware cosmically of everything around him, including the audience watching the show, right? He's aware of everything. I mean, I don't think they make that explicit in the show, but I mean, if he can see the Watcher, he certainly knows everything else that's going on. So it's really cool they have him go ahead and break the glass here and sort of try to attack you, the player watching. However, I have to say, did you catch it? That's right, there was a tier 3 sneak peek. You're sort of wondering, like, are they just going to give Ultron a uniform and he's tier 2? A tier 2 uniform for a world boss legend? That sounds ridiculous, right? Well, no, they are not. They're going to give him a tier 3, and that's why if you haven't already tier 3 Thanos, you're in for a pretty difficult choice here, right? You know, Thanos or Ultron hangs in the balance because you won't be able to tier 3 them both because presumably they're both, I mean, he's universal, Thanos is universal. That's kind of the way the cookie crumbles. But the sneak peek, man, I gotta say, the tier 3 is really funny. It's really, it's a little, it's very discount. I'd say it's very discount. So think on it for just a second here more. We're gonna go over here. CM Fragment, what if the Avengers weren't able to defeat the Ultimate AI? The Ultimate AI, the Ultimate AI. Check out the new look of this multiversal threat inspired by Marvel Studios' What If. We will announce the details through the patch details to come. So we're gonna get Thanos' new uniform and a big upgrade for him and possibly an artifact. And then we're getting Infinity Ultron, presumably as a uniform for Ultron. He already has an artifact. And then who knows what else? I'm not really sure, but it's a mid-month update, so we shouldn't expect them to... Like, this is not a full update, right? There's no maintenance, there's no downtime. We shouldn't expect big fireworks. And I'm more than happy to wait 2 weeks now, knowing that we get to play with Infinity Ultron and Thanos, two of the coolest villains in the Marvel universe. Not to mention how thematically they fit together, because Marvel Future Fight for a long time was held up on the back of the Infinity Ultron World Boss stage, right? And so knowing that now it's sort of getting supplanted in a way by another wielder of the Infinity Stones is a really nice callback to sort of the initial popularity of the game, because it's really, I think it's the first year anniversary where they introduced World Boss Thanos and things like that. So it's a really nice touch there coming around to the 7-year anniversary. Now, we'll get the patch notes tomorrow. So tomorrow night. So in about, 20 hours or so, roughly about 19-20 hours from when this video goes live, and then I'll have a video for you guys on that. However, let's go back now. See if you can spot the tier 3 sneak peek. I'm gonna play this one more time for you. See if you can spot it. Look for something ghetto. Look for something where you're like, what? That can't be it. And then that's what it is. It's not the planets. It's not the 4 planets. All right, check this out. So if you look at this screen here, there's a whole bunch of glass that's cracked. But take a look. We're going to do sort of like a before and after, because he actually cracks the glass before he blasts. And the glass is almost exactly the same from before the crack to after the crack. They do add some stuff up here, but otherwise, the only other thing they add is right over here. And when I originally saw someone screenshot this and circle that, I was like, you guys are crazy. This is some, you know, crackpot, tinfoil hat, conspiracy theory, tier 3 nonsense. I was kind of scared. that we weren't going to get a tier 3 for Ultron. But look at this. If you zoom in and then you zoom in some more, it's actually so funny. I guess this was like at the last minute. They were like, hurry, put something in. So one of the devs, one of the sneak peek guys went in with a brush and just did this like dotted line and did a T and then did 3 lines. It looks like bones. It looks like a skeleton's fingers or something. But yeah, that's a T and that's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it really is. It really is. I'm sorry, sneak peek team. You know I love you guys, but this one is not your best work. It's not even your second best work. This was like, you know, you're doing the homework on the bus on the way to school. So yeah, I'm guessing they've got a lot of things going on right now. I'm not questioning their dedication. They've served us valiantly for almost 7 years. The sneak peek team are gods in my eyes. However, even gods have, you know, some sleepy days. And I guess this was one of them because this is an uninspired tier 3 sneak peek. However, that's okay because it's still an absolutely dope character and I'm so excited and I'm really happy. The other thing is I'm really happy for Ultron. That's the other thing I have to say. I'm really happy for Ultron. I think that's part of it is sort of getting lost in the shuffle because players are, you know, so disappointed by it's like a roller coaster. We're so hyped from Adam Warlock and all this stuff, and then we're so disappointed by just Echo, and we're like, what? And now we're right back up so hype about Thanos and Ultron. It's like a fever dream. But remember, players were just asking for, we didn't do some crazy campaign. There was no hashtag. Players were just like, man, it would be really cool to see Infinity Ultron in Marvel Future Fight. And literally, ask and ye shall receive, it gets manifested in the game. No other game has Infinity Ultron. No other game lets you play against him, let alone play against him and play as him, right? So it still boggles my mind that this is not the most popular Marvel game. No other Marvel game right now and for the last few years has given you as much customizable characters as we have. Like the breadth, the you know, the roster of characters, not only to play as but also to play against is unlike any other game. It blows my mind. And so it's really nice that Ultron's getting a rework. It's awesome for him. It's awesome that we're gonna get to play as Infinity Ultron. It's awesome that we get to fight against him as well. I can't wait to bring Ultron versus Ultron, dude. It's gonna be sick, you know, regardless of what kind of rework he gets. But I just it just kind of blows my mind. I can't really think of things that players asked for, especially when it comes to characters and uniforms that they didn't actually get, right? Basically, the only thing that I could say the game isn't really delivering on as far as characters and uniforms go is maybe mutants. There seems to be a bit of a holdup with adding more mutants to the game. There are other Marvel games, MSF, MCOC, that have more mutants and continue to add mutants, whereas we've sort of lagged behind and really slowed down on the addition of new mutants, despite there being a ton of mutants that we could add. Blob, Toad, Onslaught, Omega Red, Havoc, Polaris. Like there's a laundry list of mutants. But basically, besides mutants, MFF is batting 100. MFF is batting 1.000, which is wild. Now, as far as Infinity Ultron goes, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do for him, because presumably this is a uniform for Ultron. And I don't know, it's like he's a regular tier 2 character, so there's obviously going to have to be some kind of compromise. I think, and the realistic expectations, if you're the players, honestly, are I would rather the uniform be more expensive and powerful than to be regular cost and not powerful. I think I speak for the players when I say that. I could be wrong, but here's the scenario, right? There's basically 2 scenarios that could play out. The uniform costs 1,050 crystals when it's discounted at 40%, which all new uniforms are discounted, right? So it costs 1,000 crystals, and it doesn't really live up to the hype, right? Because he's a native tier 3, like, sorry, he's not a native tier 3, but the other World Boss Legends are native tier 3, right? Null and Mephisto. So he's basically native tier 3 level. So what would be really frustrating, it's like those memes, right? The boss when you fight him, and he's like super jacked. And then the boss when you can play as him, and he's just like this little weenie, skinny, tiny baby crying, right? A lot of games make that mistake, where they're like, this is the boss's gun. And when the boss is using the gun, it's like so strong and it's so hard to beat him. And then when you beat the boss, you unlock the gun, and then you use it and you're like, this gun's trash, right? I don't think players really want that. Obviously, players are not going to be like, yeah, 5,000 crystal uniform. But on the flip side, that would make sense in the case of him like this. If this is supposed to be a native tier 3, a regular tier 1 to native tier 3 upgrade, if that's what they're doing to Ultron, and he's jumping up from his garbage level all the way up to Mephisto and Null level and Sentry level, then yeah, it should cost more than 1,000 crystals. Maybe it's going to cost 2,500 like Thanos's does. Maybe it's going to cost more. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But personally, and again, I think I speak for the players, but I could be wrong here, I would much prefer for the uniform to be very expensive to justify the value and to justify the rework, and for him to go toe-to-toe with Mephisto and the rest of the native tier 3s, right? I don't even want to say go toe-to-toe with Null, because at this point, Null has kind of fallen behind. I mean, at this point, Mephisto's starting to fall behind in PvE, to be perfectly honest with you. So I kind of hope that Infinity Ultron is better than Null and Mephisto. But for me to expect that, I don't think we can realistically expect the uniform to just be 1,000 crystals. We don't really, at this point, with 249 characters, I can tell you, and I know everyone agrees with me on this one, we don't need any more characters. Mediocre, we've had our fill of mediocre. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think and what your thoughts are on the Thanos Ultron dual double mid-month. I don't know what to call it. Yeah, the second mid-month, the mid-month. It's very exciting, but it's also very uncharted territory. So yeah, lots of question marks still to discover. And will be very interesting to read the patch notes. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Smash the like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.